Hey everyone, Maury Dunbar back here at Painted Studio. Thanks for giving me some of your time today. I haven't been live in a while, and you can see this is at an odd angle, but it's because I'm working on some metal shelves that are a little hard to get with my other camera angles. So we're on the weird tripod, we're going kind of over everything, and we'll discuss why. All right, I'm gonna flip this down so you can see the shelves. So these little metal shelves I picked up at Home Goods yesterday because I need a shelf to put perfumes on my dresser top. I'm kind of a perfume junkie, so I needed to do that. And yeah, that's my rationale. So the first thing I did was I took alcohol and I took paper towel and cleaned the whole thing off. Now, if you look at this paper towel, you can see how grimy this was. This is dust from sitting on the shelves. This is hand oils from people handling it. It's manufacturing oils from people making it, that sort of thing. So I really wanted it clean. I went with 99% isopropyl, but you can also use denatured. And now that it's cleaned, and I tested my finish on the bottom of this, but now that it's clean, I can go ahead and work on the finish. Now, if you're looking at this, you can see I tested my finish on the bottom here, so it saves me from having to paint the bottom again, but it also gives me ideas of what I needed to do to make this work the way I wanted it to. And so you can see the shelves are mirrored, so if that's annoying, you know, don't look at it. We'll put the piece of paper towel over there. Well, that's not going to work. It'll get in the way. So today we're going to use Roverson's liquid metal in 3 colors: brass, platinum, scarlet pearl, and twinkle. Now, I have a set of little shelves already upstairs in my bedroom, in my house, that were sort of dry brush brass color, but I don't love them, and I may actually take them down and finish doing this. But the first thing I want to do is, I don't want this gold. That's kind of tacky to me, so I was happy to find this in black. And I'm taking my chip brush, and you can see if you look at the ends, there's lots of paint color already on there, but they're all kind of dry. I'm taking my chip brush lightly, I put my paints on a plate, lightly dipping the tips into the paint, rubbing it around just so that it's on there, and then I'm taking my brush and dry brushing the paint on. Now, there's 2 reasons to do this. A, it lets the black show through. B, it doesn't require quite such a perfect application, which for me is always a good thing. So I'm going to get the sides here that you can't see, but I'm not going to worry about them too much because I will finish this. I'm only going to do the top of this with you guys live today, just so that I'm not flipping this thing around on you all and trying to play with the camera angle. And of course, if you have any questions about what I'm doing, don't hesitate to post them. Now, I might not see them during the live because my camera is angled in such a way that I can't really see it to see the questions, but I promise you I see them after everybody posts them, and I come back and answer them too. So, little bit of paint, and I'm really just sort of rubbing it on the surface, and you can put as much or as little as you want. Now, one thing I did notice when I did the bottom, I feel like I put enough gold on there. I wanted a little more gold. So as I do this time, and I'm just going to keep dipping into my plate, I'm going to make sure I have enough gold on here this time. Gold is the only color I want to apply a little more heavily than I had when I did my trial run. So let me come around the sides here. I'm just getting this part so that I don't have to worry about missing it later, because yeah, sometimes I miss things. And let's get the inside here, and then we'll get all around the top of this, and I'll do the sides and stuff later. I might do the sides that's facing me and worry about the back side later. All right, so I've got that on here. Now the wonderful thing with the Robersons is it's interior and exterior rated. So this will grab to a lot of stuff, especially if it's clean. And this is a powder coated metal. If I was at all concerned, I would have used a metal primer, but this doesn't require it because it's already got a coating on it that paint grabs to really nicely. So we're gonna come in here, we're gonna just brush this. Now I like doing this in a linear, and if I get a little paint here on the glass, I don't worry about it. It just cleans off with a razor blade. And at this point, heck, it's so new, it would probably clean off with just water. But I do, all right, I'm gonna stand up so I can see this a little better. I do love this product for things like this. It's so easy to work with. And it gives me great results. Now dry brushing, just require, the one thing that dry brushing requires is just a little bit of paint. Don't put a lot of paint on your brush, because then you're not dry brushing, you're putting a lot of wet paint on your surface. That's wet brushing. Dry brushing can be done in all kinds of patterns. If I wanted to, I could do a cross hatch, I could swirl it, I can do a lot, but for something this small, linear, in my opinion, works best. I could even sponge it on, you know, get a little bit of pouncy, granity texture on here. I would never sponge on just one color because that kind of looks cheap. Harkens back to the early 90s and late 2000s, or early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s, where everybody sponge painted their walls, and yes, I did a lot of that for people, but I don't want that on my furniture. All right, let me get this edge, and I'm just going to come in and get this edge because I'm standing here and I can see it. And there we go. And then I'm going to get the front edge. And really, you can work it until there's next to no paint left in your brush. I like to have a little more paint on my brush unless I'm just barely trying to get color on. I like a little more color than that, but let's get the edges here. Now you'll notice that I am not switching my brushes. I often don't when I'm dry brushing stuff. I take it, I offload it on a piece of paper towel, or I offload it on my apron a lot. And I just take it and just sort of wipe the brush off to make sure there's no extra color there, and it fluffs the brushes back off. Now I'm going in with our Roberson's liquid metal in platinum. Whoops. I'm not using silver. I don't want it as bright as silver. I want it just a little warmer than that. So I'm going to work a little paint into my brush. Again, just doing this. Working a little paint into the tips. And then I'm going to come back up here and lightly apply it on all the surfaces where I applied the gold. Again, not as much as I applied of the gold. The gold is probably going to be the heaviest coating of color. So I just want to come in, put a little bit in there. So get a little silver and gold action going. But I went with the brass instead of some of the other golds that we have because it has a little bit of a shimmer to it that the other metals don't have. Almost a glittery-like look because of the particles in it. So I liked that for this. I knew it would pop through things. And we're gonna do this. Just get it on that handle. Again, okay, and I'm gonna come around here. Get a little more on there. Gotta be a little more generous with the paint on my brush. I'm so used to being cautious and careful and not applying too much that sometimes I don't add enough. Okay, there we go. There we go, a little more. And the thing with dry brushing too is you can always add more, you just can't take it off. So if you're cautious by nature, start with less. It won't hurt anything. And you're likely to have spots that are heavier and some that are lighter. And that's okay too, because that's part of a hand-done finish. Let's come down here. And then let me get the front edge here. And yes, I'm going to have to repeat this on the sides. I'm going to have to repeat it on all of this oval edge here. And I will have to repeat it on the bottom shelf. That is not a problem because as you can see, this is going pretty quickly. And I'm not, the only thing I had to tape off was the glass just to make sure I didn't whop a lot of paint on it. Yes, that's a technical term, whopping on the paint. Whop, whop. Okay, let's get that on there. Make sure I get the inside of things. Here we go. Check the inside here because I knew I was going to forget the inside here. Okay, so I have put the platinum on all of them. The next color, again, I've got to offload whatever's left on my brush onto a little paper towel, which is very little. I'm going to use our Scarlet Pearl, which will look much lighter going on, but once that clear acrylic base dries, it'll be deeper pink. So let me come back in here on this edge and just get my hand going in it so I can see exactly how it's gonna go on this level for me. All right, that's what I wanted. Okay. Sometimes I like to test it where you all can't see it so I can make sure I'm getting it right. Okay, so we're gonna come and put this pink in. Why am I choosing pink? Well, if you remember those satin boxes that I did with the epoxy and stuff on them, this is going on the same dresser, so there's a little bit of pink going on things. The rest of the room has my dressing room has no color in it. It's all wood furniture, beige walls. I have paintings and stuff and photographs hung on the walls, but I haven't gotten around to painting the dressers. So I wanted to make sure I put something with a little color just to liven it up. And why the dressers aren't painted is because I just haven't gotten around to it. Quite frankly, it means emptying them out of all the clothes and working in my house instead of working in my studio because I don't want to move the dresser out of the room. It's a pain in my neck. When I paint furniture in my house, it usually means it gets painted in the room. You remember when I did the foiled apothecary style cabinet, that was done in my dressing room. So, but that's neutral colors too, and I'll probably do something similar on the dresser to that. But, you know, again, there's not a lot of color. Those are all kind of woody neutral tones. And while it's beautiful, I just want a little bit of girly color in there. Let's get this pink on all the areas that I put. Just put the platinum. So you can see it's pinking it up, but it's not super pink. Nor will it end up super pink. I just want a little bit on there to accessorize the other ideas that I have going on. Okay, so all that's now been pinked. So now my last step is once again getting any excess color that's still damp on this brush off. And we're going to use the Roberson's Twinkle on here. Now, Twinkle looks white, and when I first apply it, it will look whitish. But really, the base dries clear. And then, just check my brush to make sure I'm not leaving a lot of pink in there, because it's picking up pink in the Twinkle, and I don't want that. Okay. So I'm going to pick up the Twinkle on my plate the same way I've been doing the others. And like I said, it will look quite whitish when it first goes on, but as soon as that base dries, it's just going to be this wonderful, let's see if it'll catch on the camera. This is dry here. It'll catch that wonderful gold shimmers in there, and that's all you're going to see. And it also softens all that pink. So let's come in here. Do this way. As this dries, and this will dry, as you can tell, I'm going right over each layer. It dries quickly. That shimmery effect of the Twinkle picks up very fast. And it just glows over the other colors. And this is why, this is why you can do multiple dry brush layers really quickly, because it just, everything sets up pretty fast, so that as long as there's not a lot of really wet spots, it's just layer over layer over layer, and it's so pretty. So I'll have this all finished up by the end of this afternoon. This is a one-day project for me, and that's good. I kind of planned it that way because I need to spend the evening reorganizing my dresser top. And so once this is done, I'll take it home and take it up to my room and put it in the dressing room. By the way, I make it sound really fancy when I say dressing room. We're in a little tiny house. It just happens to have this odd room off of our bedroom that was probably originally designed as a nursery when the house was built, but it's what we use for a dressing room now, because with two grown-ups we have too much furniture to put all in one room. So here's this. Look how pretty that is. Look at that gorgeous shimmer on there. Again, I'm going to try to catch that shimmer in there on the plate. You should be able to see that gold, and that's what's happening on the top of this. So as it dries, all that whitishness goes away, and it's perfect. All right, like I said, it's not a long live today, but we're doing this, and I'm going to continue to do this, and of course I will take pictures once it's all done so that you can see how it looks nice and dry. And I'm excited to finally be back on doing lives. Yes, I'm still working on my glass top. Last week, just for anybody who wasn't aware, I spent the week doing urns for a friend and her husband who passed away. And I really needed to spend the week concentrating on that and being quiet. It was very private and kind of a challenging moment for me. I haven't had to do that since I lost my mother, and I wanted to give it the attention that it deserved, not try to split it up with lives and stuff. And emotionally, it was a little challenging for me too. So I appreciate you all being here. I appreciate your time this afternoon, and I appreciate your patience while I was gone last week. Anyway, we'll be back again tomorrow. We'll be working on probably the glass, and we'll get some ideas going on that. I'm not sure what exactly I'll be doing on the glass tomorrow, but it'll be something. Hopefully I'll keep it a nice short live like today, and I hope you all enjoy what we're doing. Now, one other thing. Facebook is erasing videos of Facebook Lives older than 30 days, starting in June. So all of my Facebook Lives that I have transferred, I have been putting them on our YouTube channel, and it's same name, Painted Studio, over on YouTube. So if I need to refer back to something and it's been erased, it's